I want to talk about the new Sonic Cross Worlds game, the new Sonic Racing game, because it's doing something really weird that I just don't understand. I don't get why this is happening, and specifically on the Nintendo Switch 2 version of the game. So we all know Sonic Cross World. It's had like a couple free closed network tests and then a couple open network tests. So chances are, if you're really into this game or you want to play it, you've probably already checked it out. And I'm one of those people. I've checked it out. I think it's a lot of fun. I played it on the PlayStation, and I'm really excited for it. It looks fantastic. Yes, it is another racing game, and I know a lot of us are probably pretty sick of racing games, but this year just must be the year of the racing game. I mean, the main one obviously was Mario Kart World, but then we also got heavy hitters, like Garfield Kart 2. I know, exactly what you're thinking. How in the world can Mario Kart or Sonic Racing compete next to Garfield Kart? I don't understand this. And then later on in the year, we're getting Kirby Air Riders, and I think there's another one. I can't really think of it better right now. I don't remember what it is, but I'm pretty sure there's another one later this year. But regardless, there are so many racing games, and they're all on the Nintendo Switch. But Sonic Cross Worlds specifically is doing something really odd. I absolutely hate it. So the game gets a full release on September 25th on every platform. PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, Steam. It's coming out everywhere, except for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I have a few theories as to why this isn't releasing on the Nintendo Switch 2, but I think they're dumb, and I really hope this isn't the case. But first of all, technically, yes, before you comment, I know that you can play the Switch 1 version on the Nintendo Switch 2, and the full games on the cartridge and all that stuff. And you know, that's fine. That's honestly probably what I'm going to have to do, because the Nintendo Switch 2 edition doesn't come out until a later date, and it's not even looking like the game's going to be releasing until early 2026. So if you haven't caught on by now, there is no Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which is really unfortunate. I really want to play this game on launch day, and I obviously really want to play it on my Switch 2. Listen, I do Nintendo Switch 2 content, so pretty much if there's an option to buy a game, even if it's better on the PlayStation or the Xbox, even though I have those consoles and platforms to play on, I always prefer to play on the Switch 2 because it gives me a better frame of reference when I'm making videos on the Switch 2. Also, I love playing handheld, and now that we have a powerful handheld, I will love the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. I prefer the Switch 2 edition, even if there usually is some graphical cutbacks, even if it's at 30 frames per second or it's not at a full 4K. I can usually deal with the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of a game, even though the quality is a little bit lower. Obviously, I don't prefer playing a lower quality game, but I think I prefer playing handheld and less quality than higher quality and stuck to my TV, which I have a good TV. I have an OLED TV. I have no problem playing on the TV. In fact, I play most of my Switch 2 on the TV to record gameplay footage. My life revolves around YouTube. What can I say? That's just what happens. I gotta get back on track now. I feel like I'm losing myself. Anyways, the Switch 2 edition is delayed, which is really, really dumb. We don't even have a solid release date for it yet, but we know that it apparently is coming out holiday 2025, the digital version. The digital version is coming out in holiday 2025. And then the physical version is coming out early 2026. So why? Why is this happening? Why do I think it's happening? I think there's one of two reasons. First of all, dev kits. There is a chance that Nintendo didn't give dev kits to the team that's making Sonic Racing early enough. But I find that actually pretty unlikely because, the Switch 2 launched with a Sonic game. They launched with Sonic X Shadow Generations, and Sega also published Yakuza 0. So the chance of the dev kit issue being a thing and why it's not coming out on release day is probably not because of that. However, I think the second more likely option is the fact that they had a physical game key card. Now, I don't know why that would even affect digital sales. I don't get that at all. So, which makes me think that that's not the reason. But then I'm just confused why they would wait to put out the Switch 2 edition. It literally just has to be that it wasn't ready. Whether that is because they didn't have a dev kit or they weren't prioritizing that version, or honestly, who knows? But I just find it really annoying. And I find it especially even more annoying that the digital version comes out before the physical version. I hate when game companies do this. They release the digital version first and then the physical version. This is happening with that new that Chronos game or whatever it was called. I don't even know. It's like the alien guy and he's in the space or whatever. It's also happening with Yuka Replayly. That physical version got delayed because they didn't want it on a game key card and they're spending the extra money to have it physical, which doesn't even make sense because they're missing the holiday sales and all that stuff. Like I just don't understand why companies companies release the physical version later. Now, obviously, I guess there is some sort of a reason why you'd want to release the digital version first, which would be to get those digital sales first, because chances are the companies that make these games make more money on digital sales. But regardless, I'm not even talking about digital and physical games. I'm talking about the fact that Sonic Cross Worlds is not coming out on the Switch 2 on launch day. And what's even crazier isn't even that they needed to downscale it or anything, because it's coming to the Switch 1. It shouldn't even be a reason, like they shouldn't even need to downscale it because it's already been downscaled so much on the Switch 1. Why not just upscale the Switch 1 version? There really seems to be absolutely no reason why the Switch 2 version is delayed, unless they just shadow drop it, which I guess is possible. This is just also one of those games that has had a lot of drama with the game key card. People saw that it didn't have a game key card, but then Sega said it would be on a game key card, and now the physical version is being delayed because it's not on a game key card. So yeah, it's just weird. I mean, it's good that the game's not on a game key card. Let me just say, I'm happy that it's not going to be on a game key card. But what really sucks is that I'm going to want to play this game as soon as it releases, but I won't be able to buy it physically because it's not available physically. So I guess what I'll have to do is buy the Switch 1 edition, and then when it's eventually time to the Switch 2 edition. But then that begs the question, will there be an upgrade path unlike Sonic X Shadow Generations? Because Sonic X Shadow Generations didn't actually have an upgrade path from the Switch 1 to the Switch 2, even though the save data was shared. But I do believe that they are going to do an upgrade path for an extra $10. I just would much prefer the Switch 2 box art. And I really don't want to double dip because this game is expensive. That's right, this game is $70. Oh my gosh, it's $70. Anyways, what do you think about this Switch 2 news, physical games being released that's not with the digital game? Like, what do you think about all this? Do you care? Is this why you just prefer digital? And do you even plan on picking this game up? I want to play as Steve Racing and SpongeBob at the same time. Anyways, thanks for watching. Consider liking and subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. See you later.